Hello, it's Sherry St. Marie, and today I'm going to talk to you about something not everybody talks about, and I'm going to do it in a manner that not everybody fully opens up about, but it's important. And so what I want to talk to you about today is creativity, being a creator, and what that really is, because a lot of people think it's just an artist or a social media creator or something, and it isn't. There is creativity in every single one of us. And you may be really comfortable with it. You may be not comfortable with it at all. I've had a long journey with it of both afraid of it, loving it, to, I don't know, and the whole evolution of some of these things. Why I'm going to share with you is because I am somebody who always wants to try to inspire, educate, make you think, make you laugh, give you something good to think about. A lot of the times I'm for the underdog, right? But today I want to do this piece of what is creativity and the whole idea of giving it, but also protecting your soul, protecting yourself. And you may not ever even think about this, but this is how I do these lives. Come sit in my living room like we're just hanging out, and we're going to have a conversation about these things that maybe nobody ever talked to you about, or hopefully somebody did. I'm Sherry St. Marie on this channel of Sherry St. Marie that mixes all the way through my LinkedIn of all topics. Also is on YouTube under this name, Sherry St. Marie. It is all about variety and whatever interests myself, whatever topic I want to talk about. It's wide ranging. I'm a master's level adult teacher. I have been an entrepreneur for over 20 some years. I'm an associate real estate broker. Wisconsin, Florida, can refer anywhere in the world. I'm also an international property specialist. I have broadcasted and recorded, and I'm going to do more on YouTube. Sorry about, of course, the lawn is being done right now. And I also am under a brand on YouTube, Sherry St. Marie Brokered by EXP. That is all things real estate and business. So let's get into this today. Oops. These are the things that I think a lot of people don't necessarily talk to you about. And so I want to do this whole wide range. When I speak on this platform, I'm always addressing the one individual, the CEO, the person that's got interest in the subject areas that I do, somebody who's never heard of it before. So my job as a street smart educator is to pull all those ranges. And so today I'm going to go the range of, let's assume we don't know as much about this. Here's the part that in all of my decades of caring for creativity and artists and what all of those pieces really are, because everybody's a creator. This is what we get stuck in. We think it as these formal things that you were taught over your lifetime that it is. These are the people who are creative. Here's somebody who's a creator. I could say some inappropriate things right now, but I'll hold my guess. Here's what I want to help you understand, and hopefully you already know it. An engineer is a creator. An engineer is a creative person. They may not be doing art on the wall or something like that, but they are absolutely with their brain creating something that they see for solution or new design or whatever happens to be the piece. An engineer is a creator. A programmer is a creator. Obviously, singer, all these things that we are used to. A creator is also somebody who joyfully is playing through life. A creator is also somebody, obviously, who is putting things out on social media, and I'll talk about that a little more specifically later. But here's the thing. Some of us, depending on the decade that you were raised in creativity, way back in my day, creativity was, especially if you're really creative, was considered weird. And those are the crazy people. So logical programmers thought the creatives were the crazy people because we could come up with this idea or make this out of not much or whatever it happened to be. So there actually are people over history that were taught to hide their creativity or hide the part that they're able to create and produce, whether for joy or work or cause out in the world, not to share those things. That actually, in using your creativity, is a good and healthy and wonderful thing. It is a good gift from the brain, of a different way people think, and a different way, obviously, to come up with problem solution situations and things like that. There are other people who their entire life are completely comfortable creating. To get on the mic at 5 years old is no big deal. I could do that. I wasn't really worried about what they were going to react or think about, because at 5 I could speak on a mic. At 12 I was speaking in front of an entire school and the parents and whatever. But they had a good reaction to me, so I wasn't afraid of it, right? I just got up there like, I don't see what's the big deal about it, right? But I'm afraid of heights. We all have different things that we express or enjoy or don't enjoy, right? And we've learned some of that a long time as we were being raised into our careers, even at whatever stage you're at right now, where maybe it was something you used to be really comfortable being creative about, and all of a sudden it's not comfortable for you anymore, whether that be because something has physically changed for you, that making that art or thing is difficult, or you had a reaction, or you got fired from a job because you were the one who came up with this big concept and it did not go well, right? All of these things are pieces along the way of creativity, creation, leadership that can sometimes affect our art. And I want to bring that up just so that some of you start taking a look at that. Our creativity is a very intuitive thing. Even if you don't feel like you're intuitive, it is something about you and in you that you just have a sense for, however you choose to use that art. And again, I will share that I think a leader is a form of art, right? Had you ever thought about that before? So a leader can be a form of creating, for sure. Because what are you creating? You are creating a culture. You are creating a workforce. You are creating a dynamic. You are creating inspiration. A real leader is somebody who people feel inspired to follow, right? That is a pure creation situation. I realize logically and functionally you're doing things, but that type of a leader is very much an inspiration, creativity thing. And so maybe you hadn't thought about that before. But partly what I want you to think about, and this may change over time, right? Are you creating for the pure joy of creating? So there can be a lot of people like that. I just choose to do this hobby or thing quietly by myself. I know, I won't say the name, an attorney who plays guitar at night, right? Because he's got his day job that can be big and heavy and a lot to carry. And what he loves to do is tons of guitars up in the attic, right, area at night of all different genres and things. And what he is doing is creating just pure joy for himself, whether stress relief, whether getting out anger, whether just enjoying the whole piece of music and whatever else that does for him. Sometimes we choose to leave it just as pure joy. This is the piece that I'm not going to allow other people to touch. Anybody with what their decision is about being, creative, artistic, any of these pieces, it is their choice. Unless you are obviously in a job where you're using that, and then we're going to have some parameters around that. And I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. If you're using it for a living, and here's the interesting part. Some people got taught you're not an artist, you're not creative, you're not a creator if you can't make a living by it. I was taught that. Well, if you're not able to make a living for it, then it is you are no good. You're not supposed to use it. You should give it up, right? I've learned I really would rather have a job and just let my thing be my thing. A lot of people feel differently about that. What I mean by that is I would rather not necessarily have my ways I create be bossed by everybody else because I lose my joy about it. That's just me. When you get down to this, okay, then I am making a living by it, whether you're a literal artist, right? We understand that. If the audience doesn't like the music, we can't sell the download, right? So there is a lot in the world of work in creativity that does get bossed and affected, that artist or that producer, that creator needs to decide then, can I live with that? Is this okay with me? Do I feel fine about the way this is moving or not? And these are the things you need to decide. Do I want it to just, do I want the impact of the joy and the money? Or can I do both? There's a lot, obviously, that will say you certainly can do both. You just need to be in the arena where you find your place, that they both come together. I'm going to give you a couple concrete examples just so that you can see what I'm talking about if I'm too wide out there for you right now. I used to be a high school teacher, marketing actually. And so of course I'd have to create my lessons however I wanted to, and I wanted to be able to reach the student. So a lot of mine was not as logical as it was using all 5 of their senses to catch their attention, get them to demonstrate they can do it. Once I tell them, okay, here's how we do this, you do it now, right? In a creative ad or whatever it is they needed to do. Those pieces can be ways that help people come along with this creativity and feel a little bit more comfortable with it. And other people, really have had absolutely no experience with this at all. I just am used to now, way back when became a high school marketing teacher, that these are the things that I taught and helped with. And then as I left that high school classroom due to budget cuts, I got into real estate. And so for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. How am I going to be an entrepreneur? What do I do with these pieces? And when I first started out, it was literal regular advertising, right? I didn't love it. Didn't really love it. And as I moved along, what ended up happening was I had the people that liked me because of my street smart. They were used to me on Facebook as a student, talked me onto Facebook, and they didn't want just all the real estate. And so then how could I swing both things in terms of what I love to do, right, is to try to help inspire people in a day, try to do something funny sometimes, whatever it happens to be, right? And my why is about trying to make a difference in this world while I'm here. I'm a huge advocate for all I've got is this breathing and this talent while I'm here with you. After that, I can't do anymore, right? And so I feel very pulled to that in terms of, okay, Sherry, don't make the art, the creation thing, the social media pay for itself. Don't make it do something for you. Just put it out every day. And I do it every day as a matter of commitment to the world, connection of hello, I'm here. Hi, I'm happy to see you. I'm glad you're okay. And just let it do its thing. Because I don't directly tie it to, it has worked well for me in terms of bringing real estate and speaking and business collaborations and lots of other things. But I don't use mine as it has to directly tie and do something for me. I just intuitively do what I feel like putting out there and doing. So this is what I'm talking about. There are a lot of us who just do it for free. Just do it for free for the joy that it gives people. There are others, obviously, who knit and give away beautiful blankets for babies and hats for cancer survivors and whatever else they care to do with their art. And then, the other piece is there are a lot of people who want to boss your art, right? I'm just going to call it art, but I don't want that to get so stuck and you think I'm talking about anything more than the whole wide open category I gave you of creativity. This is the thing. There are those that don't want you to be free enough to be out there because people will see you. That sounds crazy, right? So whatever it is that you decide to use your creativity for, and you end up, attracting a certain group of people or a lot of people or whatever it happens to be. There are often people in our lives that don't like that, don't want that, don't want someone seeing whatever your role is for them out there on, social media and people being able to talk to her and, whatever else it is, whether they're still with you or not with you or whatever. A lot of people who still feel that way. This is what they try to do then. They try to say, what in the world are you doing? You're the one that puts all that crap out there. You're the one that asks for all this, garbage that comes back to you and whatever else. You need to just get to a place where you don't discuss your creativity with those people. That's as simple as it is. So back in the day when I had this situation, I used to try to explain. And I used to try to say, oh, well, that one that you were really offended by, that was just my, creative intellectual. And it was for a laugh and I totally get it. And I have facetious humor, if you don't know that, a lot of times, and defend myself. You eventually get to a place where this is what's good. Don't discuss it. I mean, if it's not your boss paying your paycheck, don't discuss it. So you get to a beautiful spot where no matter what that person says, whether it's 2 years later or, every 6 months or every Tuesday, if you're in front of them, if it is text, you do not respond. If it is, in the room, you decide, thank you so much, have a good day, good to see you, and you walk off. Those things are all fine and okay because you need to do your art and creation the way you want to do your art and creation and the way that it's working for you. Here's the part that I get excited about wanting to encourage everyone, no matter what it is that you do or are thinking about doing or evolving or changing into, you are the only person who can create like that, no matter what it is. You're the only one who can do it. And you're the only person, even if we're not talking about art, you are the only person who's got the insight that you do. You're the only person. You're the only person with the insight of how you've experienced life and what is your talent and what have you done for work and personal and all those sorts of things. You are the only one. This is why I like to encourage everybody, whether quiet or public, that you do honor yourself and that you do understand you're the only one that can create like that and the only one with your insight, however you choose to use it. You are also the only person who can lead with your creativity. What do I mean by lead with creativity? Like, why am I bringing that up? Leadership is a creative thing, in my opinion. Nobody talks about this. I don't know why, it drives me crazy. They talk about it being logical or natural born or something like that. But any single leader, no matter who you are, how you are, or whatever, it is a creative job because of the reasons that I have told you already. And you are the only one who can lead like that. I want to talk about this for a minute, okay? So one of the capacities that I lead in is obviously speaking and creating content that is giving a message. I also do teach in certain capacities. So I teach also for my brokerage, EXP University. I do that virtually. I create my own. So I want to be able to put that out there, particularly as free content, because one of the coolest things, in my opinion, having come from formal education, and it was so not my thing. Mine is more a street smart style of things. And I want to learn what I want to learn rather than what you're going to tell me I have to learn, kind of a thing. The coolest thing for me is this whole deal of we can get all on YouTube and whatever it happens to be, a 5-second video, TikTok, whatever it happens to be. When you start doing that, and I also work as a chief collaborating officer for a commercial development company as well with my business partner, people start to notice and they start to watch how you're leading. I am much more an informal leader than I am anything. And I always have been. I've been like just a one person kind of doing my thing. And if it helps people, great, right? As we get out there and as we attract more people to our creativity and our talent and our leadership, you will get people who really love you for what that is you're doing. They want all of that. They just also want to, okay, you can't quite say that. Okay, this part you can't advocate for. This big, huge passion you feel about this cause and subject, like, let's tone it down or we can't say that. Could you just a little bit, like, just a little bit more subtle, right? So they loved the original thing. And then they're like, we want that, and we want you to be Sherry St. Marie. Don't be anybody but her, but you're the only one, again. So if I will, and at times I get challenged, believe me, it's like, okay, if you want to work with us, Sherry, we need some of this portion of your TikTok to come down. And I took down an entire massive chunk for someone to be able to work with them because I wanted to be able to work with them. And what I discovered over time as I was doing pieces of that and other things, all of a sudden I was becoming uncomfortable with myself. I was feeling like, oh gosh, should I say this or can I say that? That's one of the worst things that can happen to somebody who's at the mic, a content creator, teacher, whatever. It's also why I'm with EXP, not just because of real estate. So EXP Realty, EXP Commercial, EXP World Holdings. One of the big things about that company is we are allowed to have our own voice, our own causes. We are obviously, very serious about compliance, about everything. However, we are allowed in the realm of not even just real estate to be able to do all the things that I do. And that matters hugely to me. So that part is important. Your joy, because hopefully it's joy for you. Hopefully it's joy for you when you're playing with creativity and doing whatever it is that you want to be doing. And your responsibility is to protect your creativity and yourself. So this is what I was leading up to of sometimes it can be a lot, right? Especially if you're on a social platform or whatever. People can be a lot. The anonymous aspect of it can be a lot depending on who's coming at you at times. You have a responsibility to protect your creation, not just in the naysayers in your real life, not just in the, okay, this boss loves it and wants to jack me up out here, and this is awesome and I love it. But this part I need to not be involved in because it isn't in the best care of my mind and soul. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you need to protect your joy. And you also have a responsibility because you cannot create if you are not taking care of the creator and the creator's soul. How do you safeguard yourself? And also, oxymoron, yin yang stuff, play full out. These are some questions you want to ask yourself and periodically think about and discover, because we can sometimes forget about the safeguarding, right? Or we can be too much of the safeguarding and I am not playing full out anymore with this creativity, however I chose to use it or wanted to, right? The part of play full out is this. Whatever it is of how you are using that talent of yourself, it is, have I challenged myself? Have I let it grow? Have I let it rest? Is there some new thing, some new twist, some new avenue of it? Is there something that I want to not be doing with it anymore? Is there something that I am just being too safe and I need to get on the mic and say what I think and be willing to blow this world up in a beautiful, positive way because I can? And it would be amazingly impactful from everywhere around the world that could hear on the internet. That'd be awesome, right? That's playing full out. Or maybe for you, playing full out is in your neighborhood. And that's as far as I want to go. Whatever playing full out is for you, that's the stuff I'm asking you to take a look at. I am never in my teaching in ways and style telling you what you need to do. What I am typically doing is presenting you ideas, using myself as a conduit and others, giving you stories and examples, and offering it up to you to go, what do you want to do with it? Is there anything you'd like to do with it? Awesome if you do. This is the other thing that naturally happens that you may or may not realize. You will evolve as a creator over time. There might be a certain way you used to do it 5 years ago, and now that is so not your thing. Even if you take the category of leadership, right? Like you used to be this kind of a leader and now you've learned, or we've had major company switch outs or way huge, exciting, creative evolution of how we should be doing business, particularly worldwide, because we all need to get along. And you've got a great idea that we shouldn't have to be fighting so hard for, nor do I need to fight you. Here's something we could do. We are all, no matter how we are expressing ourselves, going to evolve over time. That's a wonderful thing. You may see something differently. You may discover, hopefully, a lot of the joy of creating is discovery, right? You may discover something that all of a sudden is incredibly, intriguing to you, playful to you, exciting. You may find another way to express yourself because you're going to grow, right? You may learn new insight because you didn't used to think about this thing like that and put it into your creating or your piece, right? And as you experience life, you're going to evolve in how and what you are creating. And all of those things shape and grow and enrich and quiet. So maybe part of your evolution right now is I need to create more quietly. This will make you laugh. So we have had a world of these 5 seconds, 7 seconds. I could do 7 second videos like nothing after a couple of years of flipping them out like 10, 12 times a day. What we're discovering right now is, as I said in the previous live, we need to calm things down. People would like to be able to not have such a fast scroll speed. They'd like a little bit longer talking, a little bit quiet, softer. You just get to hang out with me because usually you just see me for a couple seconds. I don't mean me so much, it's whomever you're watching online. So sometimes the experience of life is, hey, slow it down, calm it down, hang out with me for a while. Let's talk a little deeper. I may or may not be listening to you, you're saying. I just am kind of letting it come in and you're my company. Did you get that? Because we are in such a connected online world now, and so many people working from home alone or not, living alone or not, massive, well over 50% of people worldwide feeling lonely. Some of the experience of creativity can just be feeling like I'm hanging out with you, Sherry, because I'm just going to run your lives and just listen. And you're just either in the background while I'm doing my work or I'm actively listening to you or whatever. That is something going on right now. And so if you are creating in any category that can be helpful, useful, profitable to you that way, maybe that's something that you want to consider. So all of these things are good and interesting. I'm sorry, I think I actually did that already and I'm on a new computer still. Here's the part that you need to ask yourself every once in a while, what would you like to do with all the stuff I talked about right now? You might say to me, nothing, Sherry, and that's fine. You might say to me, gosh, I had wanted to try this, but I have been uncomfortable. Like I could never do karaoke. There's just no way. I can talk in front of anybody. I cannot sing in front of anybody. I mouth it when I went to church, right? Like, because I have a not singing voice. Let's decide, maybe that's what I want to try now to challenge myself. Fabulous. You might also decide, gosh, I hadn't really thought about what you're saying, Sherry, about this is my kick for 2024. Taking a look from a leadership perspective of our society, our world, business, family, how things are going. And creatively look at how would you like to do things differently because of that? So for me, part of that in creativity is limiting the amount of time and scroll I have in certain places. Part of that is deciding I want to be both for my industries, of real estate, business, speaking, teaching. I want to be what people want to see rather than the combating and talking about all the things and lawsuits and stuff and whatever that really is not appropriate on social media, for one thing, for people and also for legal. I would also like to be able to go, I have the ability to really connect some amazing things and make a lot of really great collaborations happen for people. I want to do that. I want to do it desperately. I want to do it passionately. I want to do it playfully. When I say desperately, I mean like I want to do this, right? There's so many amazing projects and people that need to come together and they just don't have the collaborator in the middle to go, did you see this? Do you know this person? Should we put this thing together? That's interesting to me from a creative perspective because I can pool my different talents, right? And it is this piece of lead out there creatively for me, please. Whether you are whatever you happen to be, and I'm one who I do not think I need to say I'm a female CCO, because in my case, I think I appear as a female. But here's the thing. I also am a female leader, and that is a very different thing creatively. And I can say that in all capacities of my life. I can say it in my personal life. I can say it in my business life. I know it from a lot of different input. And here's what I mean by that. I have an awful lot of feminine energy naturally, not girly, it's feminine energy. I have a different way I think about things. I'm tearing up right now. I have an emotional heart for this world and for people in both the good and the challenges that is unbelievable by this point in my life. Some of the things I've been able to have, these intimate conversations with huge leaders in this world, that would just blow your mind if I could say their name, is amazing, where they have then said to me, gosh, Sherry, I hadn't thought about the insight that way. Or I have been in this category that I was trying to teach and lead and do that, but you feel it to your core about what you're talking about. That's the kind of stuff I'm asking you of, what do you want to do with this now in terms of playfulness, creativity, using your art, but also protecting your soul, because your soul has to be good and okay to create. I want to thank you for joining me and spending this time with me. I do have, as I told you, the 2 YouTube channels. You'll find me every single day on LinkedIn. If you would like to reach out, probably the easiest way to do that is comment on YouTube, or if you do that on my LinkedIn page. If you go to my business Facebook page, is about the only place outside that you can find my contact. So I am on Facebook as Sherry St. Marie, brokered by EXP, if you want to make a comment. I wish you tremendous creativity in all the different ways you would like to do that. I hope you see yourself that way. And I hope that it brings you some good joy, but I hope you protect it like a badass. Have an awesome day.